Any more questions? Yeah.
This idea of leaders and teams is really interesting because it seems like even if you have a small team, there needs to be a drive behind it. And I'm wondering, like, how have you found it? Like, what strategies have you used within, like, your workplace to get people who may be a bit more shy or a bit more quiet to really get involved in the decision-making process? I mean, one thing perhaps is to have weekly meetings or something where everyone sits around and you can talk about stuff, but still there's a dynamic just due to differences in personalities and just maybe just confidence.
Yeah, I've got people on my team that I can't get to talk. They really, grunt. What do you think it is? Grunt. And that's really difficult. And I've had people in the past who have been, complete other juniors, straight out of uni, really kind of like, whoa, I'm in an office and I'm, working on this thing, and getting people to put their ideas out there and put their thoughts out there can be really difficult. I don't have one solution. I have, you have to work on each person individually. I know for the person who was straight out of uni that I had a bit of a problem with, I got him to take ownership of the feature, and he was working on it, and I think it was actually maybe the second feature that I got him to take ownership. The first one I had to end up slowly moving him off because it wasn't happening. So the second one I gave it another try, and he got to the point where suddenly I turned around and he was going, hey, look, I did this, I got this idea and I did it, and I was suddenly like, wow, I got him through from the point where he was like, basically, just taking orders to actually going out there and taking the initiative and doing something, and that was really good. And
what did you do to get the change in reaction?
I gave him the responsibility. It wasn't a huge responsibility, but he knew that he had to produce this, and I didn't give him these big overarching, you have to do this, and this. I said, we kind of want this, could you just go and do it, and just lead him, just really heavily undermanaged him, and just kept an idea that he kept an eye on him, and he didn't get too distracted to Facebook and YouTube, but which can be a problem, even for myself. Giving people responsibility and making them, and actually this is part of the next slide or the slide after. So then this is what leadership is. It's respect and trust. I respect all of my people that I work with, and I hope they respect me. I respect their abilities. Some of them are way more experienced than I am, and I display that respect. If something's being done, I ask their opinion. They might not have anything useful to say, but at least I've gone in there and said, okay, it's a design decision or whatever. I'll go to the lead artist and say, look, this is a situation. What do you think? Even if I'm working with one of the other lower downs, then I'll still do the same thing. And I have to be committed. I have to be committed. I have to be there for them, and that's what leadership is. It's taking lead, and being if you're the most committed on the team, then you're taking leadership. If you're working the most, then you're taking leadership. So keeping that consistency, which is there, means people, okay, there's a solid rock. I can depend on this person to go out there and back me up and to respond to my queries with fair. I can be having a shitty day, as we all do, and I have to respond to to things in a consistent way. Otherwise, people are going to be like, whoa, okay, I'm not going to come and talk to him next time. So, and then, you break your communication, you break your trust, and things fall apart rapidly. Questions?
Maybe on the flip side of leadership, how do you not be too overbearing to, like, maybe you've got a lot of stuff you want to sort of communicate, but how do you stop that from being too dominating in a sense?
Well, you don't be a goat for one. You don't, you just have, it's self-evaluation. It's looking at how you behave at the end of the day, how you've dealt with things. It's the same as being a programmer and being an artist. You look back on your day or you look back on your week and you go, okay, what did I accomplish today? What did I do right? It's a bit more airy-fairy and a bit more hard to grasp than okay, I didn't produce any bugs today, or I fixed 10 bugs, or I produced this great little tree or whatever. And often it's yourself doing it, yourself looking at how you worked, but which is a lot of people find quite difficult, and it's something that I've had to learn. But yeah.
Hi there. I was just curious in terms of leadership and delegation.
Yeah.
Just how do you overcome, I guess, the concept of yes men, which you kind of come across? People maybe agreeing on doing certain tasks or certain responsibilities, going yes, 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 and then not, which I kind of
They're
call,
not contributing, or
or just not doing the jobs that they say that they'll do, that kind of thing.
saying yes, but not actually doing it. Or?
Yeah, saying yes, I'll do that, but not doing it. How do you overcome issues like that in a good way without necessarily having to take on a big boss nastiness kind of, whip their ass kind of thing?
It's something that I feel about here. So in here, in delegation, I'll skip to this section, which is a good delegator sits down with someone and says, okay, I'm going to give you responsibility for this, and you do it in a relatively formal way. If it's something bigger, if it's just like, oh, we need this done, and it's half an hour job, obviously you don't sit down. But if it's taking control of an entire team or whatever, you should sit down and go, okay, well, I'm going to give you responsibility for this, and have a chat. And if you've got a good relationship, it doesn't need to be go out and have beers kind of relationship. It just needs to be a good working relationship. Good, you've established trust and respect. You can get a commitment out of them that says, yeah, okay, yep, I like that. I want to work on it, or they might not be like, oh, well, this is a bit of a shit job, but someone's got to do it, and I'll take one for the team or whatever. So you get that commitment out of them, that kind of okay, I'll take care of that. And it depends on who you're dealing with as to how you go about that. I know that some of my team members, I can just go, hey, can you take care of this entire project? It's a two-week thing, and he'll just sit there and he'll just bang, 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 and I'll just be like completely hands off, and he'll turn up with it and finished, and it looks fantastic. Whereas other guys, I have to come back and go, okay, sit down and go through this kind of agreeing on responsibility kind of thing, and then finally I go, okay, well, how am I going to monitor it? And it needs to be fairly clear cut that they know that on such and such a day, or after such and such a time, they're going to have to come back and tell you, well, here it is, or this is how far I've got, and then they hopefully take it. This doesn't work all the time.
And if you do all those things, or you have an agreement on responsibilities, they say, yes, I can do that, get a commitment from them, give them schedules and dates and say this needs to be done by here, blah, 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 all that kind of thing. What then, without being